even with kids as well, like some people can't take failures, man, because where they feel like if they fail, it's a label on them, innit? They feel like they make judgment on them. They feel others are judging them, and all of these kind of things, and so they don't know how to overcome it.
You know that's a big thing. Failure is so important.
That's what.
But like I used to think man's gonna go through my whole life not taking one L, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're little, I'm not taking no L's my whole life.
No, it's true. It's true.
Do you see what I'm saying? And then what was that terminology someone said to me? He goes, manufactured failure. Something like that. So manufactured meaning create in software, we call it sandboxing. That's the word I was going to use, sandboxing. So when you're developing a program, say for example the system's already running, and you want to test a feature of that software. What you do, you create a sandbox, and that sandbox recreates the whole program, but in a specific thing called the sandbox. Whatever you do in that sandbox doesn't affect the wider system.
Okay.
Do you understand? So if you break it, it doesn't matter. You can just restart again. And then when you're ready, you implement the features on the main software and you roll it out to your users. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You should be sandboxing things, bro. I'll give you an example. My son had a speech,
assessment.
Starter kind of thing.
No, assessment. Like, so we had to prepare like a speech to a teacher or whatever. So it was like the next day.
I'm going to some of that sugar one.
You want sugar one, yeah? Nice. You look like your batteries are dying, bro.
You got to come at the back of me and press the button. Do you remember back in the day? The batteries. See how much you got left?
Oh, them ones.
Bro, your thumbs are getting red, bro, by the time you get the one bar. The bars don't coming up your feet. You're hoping
they're hurting, bro.
You start biting it.
Do you know what happens to those? Do you know what happens to those batteries? But they end up going on the clock because he seems to work on them. You know that, innit?
Yeah, batteries are fishy.
The batteries fishy. You go.
It goes from the remote. It goes from your toy to the remote.
That's like retirement for them. That's retirement. When they get to the clock stage,
that's it. It's done.
That's it. And then we know when it's done. When you do that little hand, it starts flicking.
You got to change.
And it's not moving. So you're not thinking, hold on. That's like a couple hours behind.
Man, anyway, you're deep, bro. That's a new one. That's a new one, bro.
So you said about mistakes and failures.
What I was saying to him is, you're going to go and deliver this speech and you've never done it before. Yeah. Think about it, yeah? You've written the speech, but you've never performed it. So the first performance is going to be in front of your teacher where you're going to be assessed. That's nuts, you know that? I was like, you should have done it 15, 20 times in front of me or your mom or your brother, or whoever it is. Does that make sense? So by the time you get to, where you're supposed to perform it, you've done it 15, 20 times. And that goes with anything. If you're studying for GCSEs, if you're sitting a GCSE exam, that's the first time you've done the studying, but you've never actually sat down and done an exam in exam conditions. Yeah. That's moving reckless, man. You should have done this 15, 20 times, man. Yeah. 30 times. However many times are you supposed to do it? Same thing with, for example, if you're training for a competition. If you haven't put yourself in a situation where you're training, where for example, we've got open mats on Sunday, where you put the time, there's no learning technique. You put the timer on and you go at it for 5 minutes. Like competition style. Because you can't just go rock up at a competition. That's the first time you've ever went hard. And plus you add nerves on top of that. And then you add... Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. So with what I was trying to do on the course, I was saying to them, mans are rocking up for job interviews. Like, they've never prepared for it, bruv. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I used to do it myself. Yeah, man, I'm just going to talk about... Bruv, then you get there and you're like, I don't know what to say. These guys are assessing you and you're going to get a job. And it's going to change your life, but you haven't prepared. Yeah. And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And my position is basically, you've done the preparation. You're there now. You're in the storm or wherever it is. It didn't work your way. What's the mindset you're going to have now? Yeah. And sometimes people, and just generally like life, man, I think when people go through problems, even when you got like these young people, whatever, or just adults, they crumble, man. Like, I don't want to use it in a way like, why should they crumble? But I'm saying in a way that it's difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they have all of these kind of like they failed, and it just kind of escalates in terms of how they perceive themselves.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
It becomes
they
deep.
start going into, they shy away into the corner. They didn't do it, didn't go their way, and only few could come out fighting again. And that's what really, for me, is like having that mindset. Because the thing is, I said this to some brothers the other day, like going through problems and anxiety and stress and things at home and things on, you know, in your personal life, they're all part and parcel of life. You can't escape it.
Yeah. And you're never going to be always on top.
Yeah.
People think that, I've made it. You ain't made it.
Yeah.
You're making it
Or
every
comfortable.
day.
Like, I think people just think they're comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, I've got an income. I've got things going on. That's one thing. You know, for me, I get more anxiety of that period.
Yeah, if I'm comfortable...
I get comfortable because I know that, you know what? I'm comfortable. I'm happy. Maybe Allah's got some test around the corner. And I honestly, I feel like...
But Allah
I'm
only
able
tests those who love, though.
Yeah.
So maybe I've fallen out of favour.
Yeah.
I haven't... do you see what I'm saying?
So even that lens is
Yeah,
about looking at that lens as well. Are you with me? It's about looking at this. So for me, you know, going back to what we're talking about, like failures and mistakes, and it's just not just talking about mistakes, but also like problems and so forth. It's a matter of like what mindset do you have, and how do you come out of it? You know, and taking lessons, taking things that you need to improve on, taking things that, you know, you need to work on, taking things that, you know what, I need to get a bit more insight, advice. That's how you kind of navigate from that.